I used to think numerology was nonsense. I really did, until I started noticing something I could not explain away. People who shared the same last digit of their birth year, complete strangers who had never met and lived nothing alike, kept telling me the same secret about their lives, almost word for word. That was the moment I stopped doubting. So before I lose you, do one thing for me. What year were you born? Just hold that final number in your mind, the one you have never once thought about in your entire life. Because what these 10 digits reveal is the part of you that you have never said out loud to anyone. And people write to me every week after hearing this with the same three words: How did you know? The truth is, I did not know. The number did. Stay with me, because the moment I reach yours, something is going to click that you have spent years trying to explain. Let me tell you why this works first, because I do not want you to think this is a party trick. Long before there were calendars on phones, the people who studied numbers believed that nothing in a person's life arrives by accident, least of all the moment they take their first breath. The year you were born is a kind of stamp, a frequency, and the last digit is the part of that stamp that vibrates closest to the surface, the part other people feel when they meet you before you have said a single word. It is not your whole story. Your full birth chart is a symphony, but the final digit is the first note, the one that sets the key for everything that follows. And most people go their entire lives without ever hearing it. Before I go through them, do this for me. Drop your final digit in the comments below right now. Just the number on its own, so I can see how many of each is watching tonight. And stay with me all the way to the end, because the digit that surprises people most, the one almost nobody guesses correctly about themselves, is not at the beginning of this list. It is near the very end. So even if I reach your number early, do not click away, because the last few hold the part of this that people remember for years. If your last digit is 1, you carry the energy of the beginner and the leader, the one who goes first. You have probably noticed your whole life that you would rather do something yourself than wait for permission, and that waiting, more than anything else, is what drains you. People with a final 1 often feel a quiet loneliness even in a crowded room, because some part of you is always a step ahead, already seeing the thing no one else has noticed yet. Your shock is this: the times your life stalled were almost never because you lacked ability. They were the times you stayed small to keep other people comfortable. The 1 was never meant to follow. If your last digit is 2, you are the connector, the one who feels the temperature of a room the instant you walk in. You have spent your life reading other people so well that you sometimes lose track of what you yourself lead. And that, not bad luck, is the source of the exhaustion you can never quite name. Twos are the glue in every family and every friendship, the ones everybody leans on and few think to ask after. Here is what will surprise you. Your sensitivity, the thing you were maybe told was a weakness, is the rarest form of intelligence there is. Most people cannot feel a fraction of what you feel. The world taught you to apologize for the one gift that was always your power. If your last digit is 3, you came in carrying expression, creativity, and a kind of light that people are drawn to without knowing why. You probably learnt young that you could make a room laugh or change its whole mood just by walking in. But 3s carry a secret weight too. You feel things at full volume, the joy and the sorrow both, and you have learned to hide the second one behind the first. The shock for you is this. The years you felt most lost were the years you stopped creating, stopped expressing, stopped letting the thing inside you out. A 3 with no outlet does not go quiet, it goes heavy. Your way back to yourself has always been through making something. If your last digit is 4, you are the builder, the one who creates stability out of nothing through sheer steadiness when everyone else gives up. People rely on you precisely because you are the one who shows up, does the work, and finishes what others abandon. But 4 carries a quiet trap. You can spend so many years building the foundation that you forget to ever stand on it and enjoy the view. What will surprise you is this. The security you have chased your whole life was never going to come from doing more. It comes the day you finally trust that you have already done enough and let yourself rest on what you built. If your last digit is 5, you are the free spirit, the one born restless, allergic to cages, hungry for change and movement and the next horizon. You have probably been called flaky or unpredictable by people who could never keep up. But the truth is, your soul simply needs room that most people do not. 5s who try to live a small, fenced-in life wither in a way that looks like depression but is really just suffocation. Here is your shock. Every time you blew up a comfortable situation that was slowly killing you, the part of you that everyone called reckless was actually the wisest part, dragging you back toward the open air you cannot live without. If your last digit is 6, you are the heart, the nurturer, the one who carries responsibility for the people you love, like it was sown into you at birth. You are the one who remembers everyone's pain and quietly tries to fix it. But sixes have a wound hiding underneath all that care. You give and secretly wonder if anyone would do the same for you. The thing that will surprise you is this: the love you have poured out for years was never lost or wasted, even when it went unthanked. It built something invisible around you, and the season is coming when it begins at last to flow back. If your last digit is 7, you are the seeker, the thinker, the one who has always felt slightly apart from the world, like an observer sent to watch and understand. You ask the questions other people are afraid to ask, and you have probably felt misunderstood your whole life, even by those closest to you. Sevens are not cold. You simply live at a depth most people never visit. Your shock is this: the solitude you sometimes blamed yourself for needing is not a flaw to fix. It is the doorway to the exact wisdom and intuition that other people will one day come to you for. You were never meant to be like everyone else. If your last digit is 8, you carry the energy of power, ambition, and material mastery. The digit most tied to wealth in nearly every old system of numbers. You have an instinct for what creates value that others simply do not have. But 8 is also the most tested of all the numbers. Your life likely came with bigger falls and bigger climbs than most, because this energy does not grow through ease, it grows through pressure. Here is what will surprise you. The losses you thought set you back were not punishments, they were the forge. The 8 that has never been broken stays small. The one that has been broken and rebuilt becomes unstoppable. And that may be exactly where you are standing now. And now we reach the one almost nobody guesses correctly about themselves. If your last digit is 9, you are the old soul, the one who arrived already carrying more than your years should allow. Nines are the completers, the ones here to finish lessons many lifetimes in the making, which is why your life has so often asked you to let go, to release people and chapters and versions of yourself before you felt ready. You have grieved more endings than most people your age. Here is your shock, and it is the one I most want you to hear. Every loss you were forced to carry was not life taking from you. It was life clearing space, because the 9 cannot receive what is coming until its hands are finally empty. The releasing you have done your whole life was never the tragedy, it was the preparation. And if your last digit is 0, you are rarer than you know, because 0 is not the absence of a number, it is the circle that contains all of them. You carry a little of every energy at once, which is exactly why you have always felt hard to define, even to yourself. People with a final zero often spend years searching for their one thing, their single purpose, and feeling like a failure for never settling. The shock for you is this: you were never meant to be one thing. The zero is the whole, the potential before it narrows, and your gift is the very wholeness you mistook for being lost. You contain multitudes, and the moment you stop apologizing for it, your life opens. Now hear me, because this is the part that matters more than any single reading. Your final digit is not a cage, and it is not a fortune carved in stone. It is a starting note, a tendency, the key your life was written in. What you do with it is entirely yours. I have met ones who never led and nines who never let go, and they were the unhappiest people I have known. Not because the number lied, but because they spent their lives fighting against their own grain instead of working with it. The shock is never really the meaning of the digit. The shock is realizing how long you have been struggling against the very thing that was trying to help you all along. So sit with your number tonight. Notice how much of what I described you already knew somewhere, quietly, without ever having words for it. And then ask yourself the only question that counts. Now that you know the note you were born in, what song are you finally going to play? If your digit surprised you tonight, tell me below. Type your number and one word for how it landed: true, or wow, or finally. I read them, and there is a strange comfort in seeing how many people just discovered the same thing about themselves that you did. And if this reached something in you, subscribe and stay close, because the next reading goes deeper than the last digit alone, and you will not want to miss where it leads. Until then, remember, you were not born by accident, and neither was the number you have carried your whole life without ever knowing what it meant.